Hi, I'm Jen Gumbel. Welcome to Introduction to Estate Planning with Quimbee. I'd like to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Jen Gumbel. I'm an estate planning and probate attorney in the state of Minnesota. I've been doing that for over a dozen years, as well as teaching continuing legal education classes to attorneys in Minnesota and throughout the country. In addition, I'm the host of the podcast Good Legacy, and I'm an online educator at the website organizedafterlife.com. Today's CLE is an introduction to estate planning. We will touch on a variety of topics, but of course, we only have an hour. We will not discuss everything in the fullest depth that we can. I hope that today will encourage you to learn more about various topics that I'll discuss today. Let's start by talking about what the point of estate planning is. It's minimizing the legal issues that come up during death and incapacity. We're helping people avoid leaving a legal mess. But I want to emphasize, estate planning is not simply documents. People with great documents can still leave a legal mess. And a document-centric way of practicing isn't working for lawyers or for the public. First, we have lots of competitors. The internet has brought a lot of document generators into the industry of estate planning. These competitors are low fee and sometimes no fee. But that's okay, because document generation doesn't help families avoid a mess. This is because minimizing legal issues is a legal strategy. Crafting and creating the right documents is important because it puts the strategy in place. By the way, making sure those documents are legally effective, meaning that they jump through the hoops so that they will be recognized, ultimately by a court. That's incredibly important. In addition, understanding funding, or a better way to say it is financial organization, so that the assets actually follow the plan means that the strategy can actually happen. There's a lot of thought, conversation, and education that happens in proper estate planning. Simply put, we can do better than our online competitors. We can create a strategy and educate our clients on how to make a strategy that actually happens. Ultimately, we're assisting individuals in leaving their loved ones a manageable to-do list when those loved ones need it the most, when they're grieving the important people in their lives. The particular strategy for the individual in front of you is going to depend on three different factors. The first factor is the law and the applicable jurisdiction. You'll be working with people who are likely residents of the state that you practice in, or at least own assets that are in the jurisdiction that you're in. So how does the law play out? What kinds of options does your state provide that allow for the transfer of assets? How do things play out? Is a probate a burdensome process or not nearly as bad as it can be in other places? The right strategy will vary greatly for the same person when they're in one state versus another. Factor one is the law in the applicable jurisdiction. The second factor are the legal issues the individual that you're working with will leave when they're incapacitated and when they die. If they have minor kids, an important aspect of their estate plan is helping your client determine who in their situation is best placed to be named as guardian, letting the court know who that person should be, and addressing the management of the assets that ultimately should be benefiting those children. But the vast majority of issues truly boil down to the transfer and management of assets. Planning for someone whose wealth is mostly in retirement accounts versus someone whose wealth is mostly in rental properties that have to be managed pretty much immediately can call for vastly different strategies. The second factor are the legal issues that the individual in front of you will leave when they're incapacitated and when they die. The third and final factor are the individuals involved. I call these the squirrels. How squirrely are the people likely to be? Does your client want to benefit someone who can't be trusted to manage assets? That goes back to people like minor children, but others. Maybe a child under a disability, or simply a child who doesn't have their head screwed on straight, or married someone who doesn't. Maybe there's a business or a farm that some family members are involved in that not everyone is. This can create friction. And if your client strategizes ahead of time, they can minimize the friction that these people will have later.